Good morning, traders. Hope you guys are doing well this morning. Let's go over the stocks that I'm watching this morning. Not as many as I'd like to be watching, but there are a few with some activity. GLG has a lot of the activity this morning. This one's a little overcrowded on the long side. Don't have shorts here. Probably going to avoid that one. FTFT came out with some news that it looks like they came out with on April 3rd. See, this is April 3rd here. They announced an establishment of new subsidiary and new management team hires for that. And then this morning, looks like the same exact news there. FTFT, I did have shorts this morning at CMEG. If you guys are interested in going there, got a few videos on them, got a promo. If you guys are interested in going to CMEG, I did have shorts here. They were really cheap. I didn't locate them. That was all around here. They're all gone now. That was all in this area. Didn't locate them, didn't pull the trigger there. I did have shorts there this morning. FTFT is going to be an avoid for me, though. And then we have VKTX this morning. VKTX, this came out with some old data this morning. That's getting a little bit of a gap up. I would really like this one to go parabolic out of the gates, end up taking a short position on it. 1125 is going to be really tough resistance. So I do have my risks set. Taking a look at this past chart history, 1125 here has been hit many times all throughout its past chart history. That level is going to be really tough to break through, and that's why it came up to that 1140 and had a pretty hard retracement there. VKTX, I will be watching this one. I do have shorts there. There's a few other ones I'm keeping on the back burner, like OESX. This one's been overextended for a little bit of time here. Had a doji star yesterday. OESX is traded thinly. That one's just going to be on the back burner, as well as ARQL. This one's getting a little overextended as well. Here's the daily here. We're going to have $6 as really tough resistance. It tried to break out through that a few weeks ago. Then looking at its past chart history, it's got the same story there. $6 is very tough. I'll throw those on the back burner. My main watch probably out of the gates is going to be VKTX. Might see what pops up on the scanners this morning. Let's get straight into it. ATAI, this is coming right down to this trend line it's been on over the last few days. Testing that right now, looking like it's trying to crack under it. ATAI has been one of those stocks that has a lot of attention as well. Nothing I'm eager to take a position in, traders. The market's going to open up in 15 seconds here. I got some charts up. FTFT, ARQL, OESX, VKTX. We'll be watching everything. VKTX, a little panic right out of the gates. Not exactly what we wanted there. FTFT getting a little bit of a morning spike. Complete avoid for me. ARQL getting a little perk on it. That's one I was watching for a little bit of a short sale. $6 is what I wanted there. Didn't get it. ARQL, if we get a little bit higher, I would take an entry on it. Doesn't look like we're going to, though. This is the daily I'm looking at, though. See, it came right up to this trend line, tapped it. I think we're going to have our first red day today. Problem is, I don't think I'm going to get an entry on it. Okay, I'm in ARQL, 200 shares at 589. We got a little pop up to VWAP. I need to hold strong there. I want these shares to just kind of fade. $6 is going to be my risk on this. Don't want that back over 6. Want it just to hold under the VWAP. I just took ARQL there for 10 cents. A little bit of gas money right there. I just like the easy stuff. VKTX was killer. VKTX, I was looking for this to get a pop to short into right out of the gates and then have the sell-off like this. The reason I was so small on ARQL is because it was a liquid. There's only a few thousand shares traded a minute on it. But I was very convicted with this setup, just shorting overextension. The RSI is a 72, shorting overextension into resistance. See, that's all I've been doing recently. It's been working out very well for me. VKTX, I can't chase this on the short side. I mean, if it came up to VWAP, I might take a position there, but I highly doubt it's going to get back up to VWAP. Remember, this morning, there was nothing I was really in love with. I went over everything like I do every single morning with you guys that I'm interested in for a position. If it's a thin name, I can't take a large position size on it. So if there's absolutely nothing I'm in love with, I'm okay just continue being consistent, taking my 20 bucks, going and filling up the car. Well, gas prices are going up a lot right now, so it might not be able to fill it up all the way, but consistency is really all I care about right now. Knowing my edge, trading that edge, and being successful and consistent at it. But traders, you know how after a certain period of days, you turn something into a habit? That's what I've been working on. I haven't taken a long position in over a month, and I don't want to take a long position. For instance, FTFT this morning, this thing, I saw this at $1. I did not take a position on it. Neither did I have any desire to take a position on it. I immediately went to the short locator to see if shorts were available, and they were. I figured this would probably be a pump today. It ended up being a pump. This is most likely just going to continue to fade throughout the rest of the day. But I went over the stocks I was looking at. FTFT wasn't a void for me because I didn't have any shorts on it, and this one's going to be manipulated. I went over OESX coming up to resistance and the doji star. There's just no volume here. ARQL is the one I ended up going with just because it did have some activity yesterday. There are some opportunities to make a few bucks on it, so I ended up taking that position there. GLG had some hype this morning, didn't have shorts there. So my only options this morning were really VKTX and ARQL. And you guys know VKTX, I wanted to pop out of the gates to short into. So as long as I have my edge, I'm trading the edge, I'm consistent. That's ultimately what I'm focused on. I want you guys to learn as much as possible. For me right now, it's really not even about the money. ARQL and VKTX were both stocks that were doing the same thing. They're getting a little overextended and they're coming up to resistance. If we point out the resistance here on VKTX like we did earlier, it came right up to 1140 in pre-market and started retracing that move. Now it's at 1030. Same thing with ARQL. Came right up to resistance, short into it. The thing is, I like them to get extended. And this is all I'm doing every single day. I'm just looking at every single ticker over the last week and every ticker gapping up, having any activity at all, finding the resistance, making sure the stock's overextended, making sure it has some liquidity to it, unlike OESX. It's a good learning lesson today, though. OESX, that one was overextended, had a doji star, but there's just no volume. It's untradeable. The one I traded was pretty illiquid as well, but still able to get in and out of it. VKTX was the most liquid stock. Just didn't give me the pop I wanted. I like to get into these closer to that resistance area of around 1140, which was its pre-market high, and all up around this resistance. Because if I'm getting in, for instance, on VKTX at 11 bucks right at the open, I'm risking over 40 cents on it. And yes, the reward would have been great on this. But for me, I like to get into these as close to resistance as possible. That way, I'm not risking as much. I have a very tight stop, and if it goes against me, I cut it for a minimal loss. Let me know if this is helpful for you guys, because I know there are a lot of traders out there, they just don't verbalize what they're thinking, and that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to verbalize to you guys exactly what's going on in my head when I'm looking at these. The reason I didn't take VKTX too far off my risk, the reason I didn't take OESX too illiquid, and the reason I took ARQL closer to that resistance I would risk off of. And some liquidity with my small share size that ended up working out. The thing is, traders, I've maybe had like one red day in the last month, so the consistency's been really good, and I want to keep up with that and then start sizing into these. But I've only been shorting, strictly shorting, for the last month, and I've really been liking it. We're loving it a lot, and this is what I'm going to continue to do, and everything will continue to scale. So I'm very excited for this and glad you guys are along for the ride. So go ahead and like that button, traders. Hit that subscribe button, guys, and we will see you all tomorrow.